So first up is nurturing leads through intentional content and follow-up, right? So after this session, our goal is for you to be able to identify the ways that you can stay top of mind with your sphere and using Remax Tech to do that. How you can customize an existing drip campaign template to fit your specific market and implement this campaign in your workflow. Lastly, to discover how to use First to identify those most likely sellers in your network, because we know, especially right now, that that is crucial to your business. And last but not least, after this class, we want you to be able to explore all these different strategies for using the First app to connect with those sellers once you find them. So today we have talked about a lot, I know, but mostly it's more so how to generate leads and formulating that conversion strategy. Just because you convert somebody to a lead, however, does not mean that they're going to stay with you the whole time. Your goal should be to provide this audience what they need to do, what they need when they need it. And that's how you're going to retain that business, right? And you're going to do that through what we call intentional content. This is content that serves a specific purpose for you, provides value to your contacts and leads so that, again, you are staying top of mind. Two of the biggest ways to provide this intentional content is through your website and through drip campaigns. Now, today we're mostly going to focus on intentional content through drip campaigns. And then tomorrow is where we get deeper into our websites. But your website is going to be the place where you're able to send people to get the vast majority of the information to cover whatever their questions are, whatever their needs are. But you can also send them this information in other ways, enter drip campaigns or follow-up messages. So tomorrow we're again going to go through the specifics of your website, but today we're going to really set the groundwork to implement campaigns in your business to provide valuable content to your sphere. So some ways that you can provide this intentional content or valuable content is to add specific market data and services to show that you're the expert in your area. There is default content in those default drip campaigns or the template drip campaigns, but you're able to go in and customize the content blocks that make up the campaign itself. You can edit that default content to spotlight local vendors that you work with or highlight all the different things that you do in your community. You can also create new content to add to your drip campaigns or to create a drip campaign from scratch. Again, providing more in-depth resources to the buyers and sellers and answering the questions that are commonly asked to you. Think about it. Think about what most people come to you and ask you. And that could be just people, that on a personal level. What are they asking from you? What advice are they asking from you? Start formulating that content and using that to create this intentional content that you're adding to your drip campaigns and even your website. So we talked about this in the last class, but as a reminder, this is how leads become a lead. They can either fill out a form on the various Remax websites, or they can perform specific activities like saving a search, hiding a listing, adding to their places, or favoriting a property. So as you likely know, when a lead becomes a lead, sometimes you will get relevant information that is going to be helpful. But oftentimes, more than not, you're not going to be given all of the information that you need. You may be left guessing on what your next step should be. So before immediately sending what you think would be relevant to the contacts and leads that are reaching out to you, it's important to understand and identify some of the lead nurturing tactics so you can create a more well-rounded picture. What do you have that your prospective clients need, right? What questions are you being asked? Based on everything that we have already established, the majority of leads are either actively looking at properties, engaging with your content, or looking for information based on where they're at in their journey. And I think that's the biggest piece. So let's make sure that you're equipped to set them up with exactly what they need. Another way to nurture leads is through campaigns. And this is going to, again, allow you to stay in contact with past clients, new prospects, guide your current clients through the journey that they're in, and really target your communication while having it be branded to you, which is really important when it comes to staying top of mind. So some steps that you can take to get you started on this campaign journey is to first create some basic or smart recipient lists. And this allows the system to start working for you. to send any sort of campaign, whether it's a single send campaign or a drip campaign, you have to have a recipient list. That's going to be the first step. And you can create these based on tags, based on the source of business. All sorts of different criteria can be set up to start creating these recipient lists. Once you get that set up, then you can start creating recurring campaigns for holidays or a specific date or event that you hold at a recurring time frame. Next, you can start editing those drip campaigns that you've imported into your system and start scheduling them out to start nurturing your contacts and staying in flow and staying top of mind with them. Once you start editing those, a part of that is to create, or the next step up, I would say, is to create a custom drip campaign or any custom campaign really to provide that value that you have to offer. Last but not least, you'll start tracking and measuring the success of your campaigns to ensure that they are completing whatever you wish for them to accomplish, right? And making sure that it's relevant information. So as I said, the first thing you need to do is start to create your recipient lists. Now we have two different types of recipient lists. We have basic lists, which are stagnant lists where you add people to that list, and that list does not change until you go in and manually add or remove them. Then we have smart lists, which are lists that automatically update. So they're living and breathing lists. Anytime you add a contact that meets the criteria you set up in that recipient list. So for example, you can see here on my screen, I have a new leads recipient list. Now, anytime I get a new lead from these various sources of business, which is my criteria that I set up, and that lead has an email address associated to their contact record, they'll automatically get sent to this recipient list and added to it. From there, if I have a new lead drip campaign that gets sent to my new leads recipient list, those people that get added automatically based on my criteria will then automatically be set up to receive those drip campaigns. We're going to dive deeper into that in just a moment, but let's talk about drip campaigns a little bit more. So I've mentioned that there are some templates inside of the drip campaigns, but there's also a content library that you can choose from. So you can use the templates to create your own drip campaign, your own single campaign, and start editing that. But you also have that default image library giving you access to over, 300, 400 stock photos that are available to you. And you can add in your own photos to that library to then use in the future. This image library is used both in the campaigns and your website, which is really convenient because then you can create some consistency between your materials. So again, when you're creating any sort of campaign, whether it's drip, recurring, or single, utilize these content templates and then go in and further edit them to be more specific to your area. With drip campaigns, however, which allow you to nurture your leads and stay in top of mind with your past or even current clients, you're able to send those automated messages. So we've talked about the pre-curated content that is available to you within there. There's those 5 templates that are available, but you have the ability to go in and edit those campaigns, which is really important to help you stand apart and to offer your specific content that is best for whatever you're trying to offer, right? You can also create drip campaigns from scratch, and you can utilize those templates, the content templates from the content library to create a drip campaign from scratch. Now, we will live drive this together, but we have additional resources available on RE/MAX University with tons of how-tos. There's also specific drip campaign videos on creating a drip campaign for new leads or for various scenarios where you can utilize those videos to create your own drip campaigns. But once your campaigns get sent, as I said, it's really important to track how they are doing, how many emails get sent, get opened, get clicked, how many unsubscribe, and even bounce, to really track the analytics of a specific campaign to see where it does well and to see where it kind of starts to taper off. Once you see a specific campaign within your drip campaign start to taper off, that's an indicator to you that maybe that campaign is not as engaging as you want it to be. So you can go in and make tweaks to that. I know a lot of questions that are going to come up is I want to be able to see who has bounced or who has unsubscribed, and that feature is coming in the future. It's not available just yet, but you can at least get a sense of the numbers of where those campaigns lie in that realm. So now I'm going to go over to my browser. I'm going to have to re-log into Booj. Some of you may notice too, I am using an incognito window in Chrome. We have similar windows in Safari and Firefox. They would just be the private windows. But I always recommend using the incognito or private windows in your browser, because since Booj updates every 2 weeks or whatever the cadence is, there's a lot of updates. And Chrome especially caches a lot of data. And that's why some of you may encounter some blank pages or updates not happening, because Chrome is trying to cache and pull all of this previous data so that you have a faster load time. But because Booj is updated and new in terms of technology, the two are clashing. So incognito doesn't cache anything, and it just creates a better experience inside of your browser. So if you're using Chrome, if you have a regular Chrome window open, you can click these ellipses in the top right corner and then click New Incognito Window to get to this incognito screen. If your passwords are already saved from before, then they're going to be saved again. So I'm going to log into my account. I'm going into my test account. Accessing Booj. Oh, what's the mouse? Okay. So once inside of Booj, to access your drip campaigns, you're going to go to your campaigns section here in the top navigation bar. Now to access drip campaigns specifically, you'll click the drip tab here in the middle of the list on the left. By default, you will always be taken to your single tabs campaign, but to access drip, you'll come here. Now, if you've never been inside of the drip section, or if you haven't imported your campaigns yet, you will see a gray box at the top of your drip campaign screen saying, hey, there's campaigns available for you. Do you want to import them? You will then import them, and you'll then see a list. I've added a few extra to my account, but you'll see this existing homeowner drip campaign template, existing renter, new buyer lead, new seller lead, and new homeowner. So those are the 5, everyone that says copied here at the end. I have one additional one. This is an old one that's not available anymore because there were some issues with it. But you will see anything that has copied here on your screen as one of those imported campaigns. Those are those 5 templates that we've talked about already. To come in, what our next step to do is to come into those existing campaigns and then really edit the content to fix or to make it match your market and your business and what you have to offer, right? So when you click into any of your campaigns, you're taken to your overview screen. You'll be able to see a list of your recipients if they've been added, and you'll be able to see the list of emails with the cadence that they get sent. You can see a preview of each of those emails by clicking this eyeball here on the right side of your screen. And if you click edit recipients or edit emails, it will take you to these tabs here at the top. So if I click into recipients, I see it's an empty circle. So that means I don't have any recipients set up. For new seller leads, you can either load a list that you've already created. If you've already created a smart list or a basic list, you can load that here. Or you can create a new list by managing the criteria in the middle, from the middle that you see. So if you click manage criteria, you can then filter specific contacts by this criteria. So for example, if you have, this is a new seller lead drip campaign. So if you've tagged your contacts that are sellers, you can click the tag criteria, click out of that, and then click back into tags. Let's see, looks like my tags are being slow to load, which is okay. You can either sort through your tags that show up down here in this list, or you can search for it in the search bar. Looks like my tags are being a little crazy, so maybe let's see. has account. That would be a good one. That means that they have a universal consumer account. Let's see if I have anyone in my test account that has that. If somebody has a universal consumer account and an email address, they would show up down here at the bottom. You can add multiple criteria. I think source of business is a great one as well. No, uncheck has account, but source of business, this is how you would choose, you know, leads that come in. So if their source of business, they were a mobile app lead, you can check that off, and any mobile app leads that have an email address would then load down here at the bottom. You can also choose your agent website. Let's see. Company website, that would be your office, or that would be, I think, next.com. And so on and so forth. I don't have any right now that have email addresses, which is okay. Oops. But they would populate down here at the bottom. If you want, if you're creating a new list, you can also save this list that you just created to use again in the future. So you save current list and then give it a name. And click save. Once you've selected your recipients, then you would go to the emails tab and you would begin editing these emails if you wish to do so. You can change when the email gets sent by clicking that blue pencil icon. You can change the order of the emails by clicking the arrows to go up and down. And it's my internet today. It's being a little slow. Which is very possible. Oh, there it goes. So now they switched places. This was the one that was the first template. So again, if you do that on accident, you can move it back. Might take a second to move. But you can also click the trash icon if you want to remove that email from the campaign as a whole. Then to actually edit the campaign itself, you'd click Edit Design. And then you'll be able to edit the content blocks that make up the campaign. If you're familiar with the CMS editor for your website, very similar. It works the same way, just different types of content blocks. So this first one is text. If I want to customize this to, again, make it sound like it's my voice, I would like to introduce myself and learn more about how I can help you sell your home. That's where you could add in your own specific information to introduce yourself and tell them who you are, right? So you can click that pencil icon and then you'll be taken to the text editor. This here is a placeholder. So that if you select first name, that will automatically choose their first name from whatever information you have inside of their contact record. You can make your changes. Maybe you want to make this text a little bit bigger. So you change it to header 4. Then you click Save Changes. See that reflected there, and you can add more content if you want. Maybe you want to add an image here. Maybe you want to add a BombBomb video here. You can do that. And then once you're done, save and continue. Now, I would recommend doing that to all of these. You don't have to add a ton of new content, just making small tweaks to, again, highlight your area specifically so that it's not so generic. And then if you want, you can add more emails to the campaign itself, and you can use those templates. Once you're done, you'll click the Activate Campaign button at the top. You'll have 30 minutes from when you hit Activate. And from there, those emails will start going out to your recipients. If you need to make any changes to the emails, for example, or to your recipient list, you'll need to pause the campaign itself, go in and make those changes, and then reactivate it. Once the emails start going out, when you click back into the campaign, on the overview page is where you'll be able to see those analytics for each individual email. To create a new drip campaign, you'll go back to your drip campaign dashboard and click Add Campaign in the top right corner. Now you'll give it a title, which can be by default, it'll be untitled campaign and with today's date and time. Just keep in mind, this is only for your organizational purposes, so don't worry about naming it anything if you don't want to. And then since we're in the drip campaign section, it'll automatically select drip. You'll click build. And then you'll do the same thing over again. You'll create your recipients from scratch or loading a pre-made list. You'll choose your emails, and by adding an email, you'll send when that first email should go out, and you can either load a template or create from scratch. If you load a template, you'll be taken to the content library where you have over 100 different templates to choose from. You can scroll through to see which one you like best. Once you find the campaign you wish to add and have as your first email that goes out, you can select it and click use this template. And then again, go in and start editing that design, or you can even change the template if you selected one that you didn't want. And then keep adding your emails. Again, as soon as you have both emails and recipients set up, that activate campaign button will be available. So like I said, we have a lot more training materials inside RE/MAX University. This is also being recorded, so it will get sent to you for you to rewatch it, but I highly recommend going to check out those videos in RU. So that's just one way for you to follow up with your contacts to stay top of mind. So now I'm going to switch it over to Jose so he can tell you guys more about how to use FIRST in your follow-up strategy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla. So, at this point, you're probably already getting new leads, right? You started, getting new clients flowing in. So now it's time to follow up using FIRST. But before we get it, started on the software and, how it works and how it can work for you, I'd like to go ahead and cover, what FIRST is and why it was created. As you can see here on the screen, it says FIRST is a mobile app, not just a mobile app, it's a RE/MAX exclusive mobile app that helps you stay in flow with your network, and win more business by identifying opportunities within your existing network who are most likely to sell. And the way it does this is it uses the power of AI, artificial intelligence. So FIRST is going to be looking at over 700 different data points to identify who is most likely to sell their property within the next 12 months. And this is all from contacts within your network. And now, not only is FIRST going to do this, FIRST is also going to help you get in flow with these contacts to remain in touch through a very natural, genuine and easy follow-up process. Now, FIRST was created with agents in mind. As you can see here, we have the leads problem, right? A lot of people consider this a problem. A lot of people don't, but realtors spend about $14 billion on leads every single year. And if we read the rest of the screen, it says, but most people still choose their agent via a relational connection. Now, why is this a problem? Shouldn't agents be, consistently seeking new business? And isn't that what buying leads is all about, right? Well, you're right. It isn't necessarily a problem. But if we were to look at real estate as a coin, right, we would see that just like any coin, it has two different sides. On one side, you have agents buying leads to, find new clients, build their pipeline, and, grow their business. But on the other side of that same coin, within real estate, you have sellers, right? People that are looking to list their property, trying to find agents within their own personal network. So FIRST was created with agents in mind because we believe that agents should be doing the same thing. Now, if you see on the screen, it says 88% of home buyers said they would use their agent again, right? But only 12% of them actually did. So looking at this, we can see that real estate agents have an extremely high customer satisfaction rate, right? Especially the RE/MAX agents. So then what causes this huge gap? The fact is that most agents just lose touch with their clients after finishing a deal. And, we can't really blame you, right? After all, real estate isn't just, finding the perfect house for the perfect, client. There's a lot more that goes into it. So, you can't really be expected to be super successful in following up with every single person that you come across with and, not miss any potential business, which is why FIRST was created, right? Again, with agents in mind. In fact, RE/MAX agents that use FIRST are actually 50% more productive than the ones that don't. Now, again, really think about this. As it is, RE/MAX agents are already the most productive out there. So what First is essentially going to allow you to become is the best of the already best. And since this is a Remax exclusive platform, you'll stand out significantly more than the average agent. And the way First is able to accomplish this is by helping you as an agent, right? You can almost think of this as a personal robot that you can fit in your pocket, right? A robot that helps you find listing opportunities within your network, to help you build inventory, which is extremely important, especially in today's market. And this bot, First doing so, it's going to support a great work-life balance by narrowing down your outreach audience. You no longer have to worry about cold calling people that are probably not expecting your call, having to buy leads, without having to spend a penny more on leads. You'll be able to gain more business using First. Now, I want to make things very clear. First is not a CRM, right? Before we get into the ins and outs, I want to make that very clear, right? Your Boosh CRM, for example, is designed for big funnels for your entire business, right? It's meant for you to keep track of every single contact you come across. But First, on the other hand, it's there to complement your CRM, right? It's there to take a more personal approach. So it's going to help you build a more comprehensive database. And it's going to allow you, to focus on individual conversations instead of, giant funnel contacts. First isn't a CRM again, but it will improve the data inside of your CRM. So then, there comes a question, why First? Why should I stop buying leads? Why should I use First over anything else that's out there? Well, according to data, First agents miss out on 2/3 of the listings among the people in their personal network, right? So through extensive research, First has shown that, most agents out there are missing out on 70% of their business, meaning out of every single deal that you get from referrals, repeat business, there's a lot more that you're missing out on. So using, the power of AI, First will identify these likely sellers in your network and will allow you to know months before they even list so that, you can get in flow with them. And that's, why First and why First was created. Because, without spending, again, a single penny on leads, you can uncover, likely sellers in your network and find more business. All right. In fact, last year alone, we were able to identify 33,000 listings out of, Remax agents using First. So now that we understand that a little bit and we, see why First was created, let's go ahead and, understand, how these numbers are generated, right? So, we found out that by following this very simple process, you can also have conversions like, the agents that are using First. And it's really easy, right? Mastering your follow-up. Step one is take advantage of your database, right? Something you already have access to. It's very simple. You're just going to import your contacts to First. So First can identify the people that you should be connecting with. After that, let's break the ice, right? Start a conversation with them. How's it going? How's it been? How are the kids? How's the wife? Number three, be consistent, right? Now that you started the conversation, just keep it going. You don't want to be the agent that, touches base once and then, they forget about because they haven't heard from them in a few months. And then at the end of it all, you want to build a community, right? You want to unlock the full potential of your database. So let's go ahead and take this step by step, right? Step one is take advantage of your database. It's very simple. Again, start by adding your contacts. Use past clients, family, friends to reach out with, to contacts that could be looking to sell. Focus on existing relationships, right? Strengthen those relationships. These are going to be people that you've already have had in your network for a while, people that you've worked with in the past. Use the database, you may have spent years, right, to build to identify people that are ready to hatch, right? People that are ready to sell their property. Start with those clients, re-engage with them, make that relationship even stronger than, it might already be. And now that you've added, your database to First, now you can go through the recommendations, right? Recommendations are people First will, obviously recommend for you to connect with. And, these will be based on activity in the system and the contacts you have or should be connecting with. Now, what you want to do with these recommendations is actually very simple, and it's the same thing you want to do with most of these contacts on First. connect, follow up, and record, right? Break the ice, say hello. Don't be shy. You've spoken with these people before. Ask forward questions. If nobody here is familiar with what a forward question is, I'll go ahead and cover that, later in the presentation. And after that, log all interactions, right? Build a stronger database. Now, once you've gone through your recommendations, it's time to hit the opportunities. Opportunities are going to be people that are most likely to sell the property within the next 12 months. These are people that first has ranked from 1 to 3 stars based on what we believe their likelihood of sell is. You want to do the same thing, right? Connect, follow up, and record. And the easiest way to connect with these is probably through social media, right? It's a very easy entry point, easier than a text and a call, especially if you haven't spoken with this person in a while. And once you connect, it's a lot easier to get them engaged on social media. You can share an article, you can comment on their posts, you can say hello, etc. After that, you want to set a next step to keep the momentum going, right? So you always want to follow up. You can think of first, like an assistant or like a gym membership, right? You can get a gym membership, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get in the best shape ever, right? You have to put in the work. Same thing with First. First will tell you who you should be connecting with and who you should be following up with. Now you have to follow through with that as well. You'll want to record any important interactions, right? That way you can know where you left off, and the conversations will be a lot more genuine. Finally, with the first step, you want to take advantage of your database, and you want to set up, a weekly follow-up goal. This is a very important tool that First gives you access to. It's going to allow you to become and remain, consistent with your follow-up. It's going to allow you to build and keep strong relationships as you're trying to hit your weekly goal. You'll be able to access this slider right here, where you'll be able to, set a connection goal anywhere from 0 to 21 every single week. And once this is set, First is going to be there to remind you so that, you can stay consistent and committed to your goals. Now, before we continue, I want to go ahead and do a quick live drive so I can show you guys what we've covered so far. You can get an idea of what it looks like. All right, just going to share my phone screen with you all. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay. So first thing you want to do is obviously download the Remax, the First Remax app, right? When you do this, you're going to open it up, and first thing we have listed here is taking advantage of your database. So you're going to want to import your contacts. To do this, it's very simple. You're going to go down to the bottom right hand side. You're going to go into account. From account, you're going to scroll all the way down, right? And you're going to go ahead and import your email account if you have email contacts that you want to import, and you're going to import your phone contacts to have First, again, through the power of AI, find the people that you should be connecting with. Once you've connected with, or you've added these people, you're going to have, at the home, you're going to have your daily recommendations, right? People that First is recommending for you to connect. Next steps do, if you set up steps already, it's your start contacts, which are your opportunities, and your groups, if you create groups, which we'll go over in a second. Now, to set that weekly follow-up goal for yourself, you're going to want to go into activity, and then you'll set a weekly connection goal. It's very easy. You'll simply edit this, and you'll be able to set your connection goal, and it'll hold you accountable. It'll tell you you've reached out to 0 people out of the 6 you want to be reaching out to. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take it back to this here. Okay. Now going on to the next step, right? Step 2 would be break the ice. Now, breaking the ice, you can be a little uncomfortable sometimes, but once you've imported your contacts, it's very important that you text, you call, you email these contacts in your phone book and email address books, right? So you can find the potential sellers, you have already built a relationship with. First is there, right, to help you keep your conversation very personal, and you can keep your conversation specific with a contact, that you are reaching out to. Now, again, we know that reaching out to everyone on first, everybody that's been rated can be a little uncomfortable, especially if you haven't spoken with this person in months or even years, right? There's always like that little doubt in the back of our minds, like, well, what if they think this of me? Or what if they're like, oh, he's only calling because he knows that I might sell? How do you overcome this awkwardness? It's very simple. You got to remember, at the end of the day, all you're doing is you're having a conversation with somebody. So just be honest, be direct, and be engaging, right? I'm going to pretend like I'm going to read this as if I was talking to somebody. You want to do something, say something along the lines of, hey, John, just giving you a call. You came across your name when I was doing some work on my database. And I remember, we did this and I really enjoyed meeting you at, so-and-so. One of my goals this year, and the reason why I'm calling you, is I want to be more intentional about spending time with people I, really enjoyed talking with in the past. And you're definitely one of them. So I definitely love to catch up. Do you have any time to meet up for lunch or coffee soon? Maybe next week on Tuesday, right? Very simple. You're being honest. You're letting them know why you're reaching out. You're being direct. You're getting straight to the point. And now you're, asking open-ended questions. And, remember, at the end of the day, all you're really doing is you're having a conversation with another human. So, have emotion, don't be robotic. You're just catching up with an old friend, right? That's the best way to see this. Now, maybe you've been using First for a few months, right? And you've run out of the easy wins, right? Your 3 stars or the people that you're already comfortable reaching out to. Where do you go to next? Just keep going, right? First uses the 3-star rating system to help you identify people that you should be reaching out to because they'll probably sell their property, right? Anything that's rated by First, listen to this. Anything that's rated by First is already 50% more likely to list than a contact that isn't. So if you're out of 3 stars, you're out of these easy wins, go to your 2 stars, go to your 1 stars. It is extremely important to do this. And why? Because a 1 star alone is already 84% more likely to sell compared to the national average, right? And you have your 2 stars, who is already 89% more likely to sell, and 3 stars are over 90%. So if you're done with your easy wins, you go to the 2 stars, go to the 1 stars, and then wash, rinse, repeat. Again, you don't want to be the agent that people forget about. It's very important that you have a consistent follow-up. Now that you've broken the ice, it's time to be consistent, right? And I can't stress this enough, right? It's very important that you keep it going. Consistent follow-up, it'll lead to better communications, and it'll help you build a stronger relationship with your client, right? Even if you don't get a response, keep trying, right? Studies show that it takes up to 6 different contact attempts for you to actually, get through to someone. So use your marketing expertise, right, to provide potential sellers with important market information. Now, let's say you don't know what to talk about, right? You don't know where to start. It's been too long, and you don't know how to overcome this awkward ice that's in between you and your potential client. Use the four terminology. It's great conversations are a lot simpler than a lot of us think they are. So don't overthink it. It's all about what you ask, not necessarily what you say. Your goal here is very simple, right? Get the other person to talk as much about themselves as they possibly can, right? That's the easiest way in, right? I mean, if there's anything people love to talk about, is about, and myself included, it's about themselves and their life. So ask 4 questions. It makes it that much easier, right? Ask about their family, right? Family and friends. How's the family? How's the wife? How's the kids? Did your daughter end up getting accepted to this university, right? Occupation, how's everything going, right? We know that, a lot of people are working remote. So, how's your work on remote? Are you guys back in the office, right? Art, recreation. Have you taken the boat out this year? Are you playing tennis? Are you and your wife still golfing? We should go golfing sometime. D, dreams, right? Are you still thinking about that addition? Do you still have any trips planned? Or And, I know you were working towards, getting a house in this area. How is everything going? How is that, right? The more information they share, the more engaging the conversation will be, and the easier it'll be for you to regain their business. Now, you want to listen closely and continue asking open-ended questions to guide the conversation, right? So asking for questions when you reach out to likely sellers will, very naturally reveal information about their real estate needs, even if it's expressed indirectly. And once you're done connecting, you can use the next steps tool that, again, is available on First to help you remember, those details from the previous conversation. That way you can schedule a follow-up and know exactly what you spoke with them before you connect with them again. Right. So, and after that, it just gets easier, right? Like I mentioned, we have the next steps tool. Next steps is going to be there to ensure you keep the conversation going by scheduling future interactions. These interactions can be set, for a day out, a week out, a month out. It really is up to you, however you want to set them up. Staying top of mind really is the goal. You don't have to call every single contact, every single day, but building these next steps is definitely going to allow you to stay on track with your follow-up. This way you'll be able to follow up and reach out to the right people at the right time. And again, personalize the conversations, pick up where you left off, use those 4 questions. Your goal now is to just keep up with them, right? Ask natural questions and build a very authentic relationship with them. All right, now let's go ahead and go into another live demo to cover these other things that we just learned. Just share my phone screen with you all again. All right. Now, again, you are going to have your recommendations, right? Connect with them. It's very easy. If you don't want to connect with them, just skip it and go on to the next one. You can send them an email if you still can't get over breaking the ice. You're going to have your start contacts or your opportunities. You're going to be able to sort these, right? You can sort them by newest. You can sort them by distance, alphabetically, by last contacted, and you can have a list or a grid view, right? Once you've connected with somebody, you can go ahead and click on their profile. You can, set a next step, and it's very easy, right? You can set a call, text, email, social if you're meeting with them in person or other, and you can add a description, right? So you know exactly what you guys will be talking about or where you last left off. Okay. All right, now you're going to have your next steps, which are, the reminders of the people that you should be following up with. You don't want to be like me and have all these fast dues. But again, First is going to be there to help you stay on top of mind with these people. All right, let's go ahead and continue now. All right, now that we've, gone over consistency, let's go ahead and, start building that community. That's the next step, right? Building a community, unlocking the full potential of your database. You want to keep the conversation going to build a community around your service, right? A community can generate word of mouth and organic growth, right? Snowball effect. So allow First to help you build a personal connection with your current network and grow your community, right? Let them speak for you as an expert in the market. One of the best ways to build a community is to simply host an event and bring the community together, right? You can use your list that you've imported, right? All of your opportunities, the people that have been rated, to create the guest list. You can create, host events online or in person. You can share passions inside of real estate, right? Show that you're human. You're not just a sales robot. Invite attendees to bring guests. Doing so is going to allow you to unlock the full potential of your database. Now, we recognize that now may not be the best time to start hosting gatherings, with people outside of, your normal sphere, but online events can be just as powerful and impactful. Some examples can be, having a market analysis, right? Or a neighborhood spotlight or a vendor spotlight. Or, if you don't want to keep it real estate related, host a cooking class. Maybe you know how to make, killer lasagna, right? Send them a list of what they should get and, have a cooking class, book club, language classes. right? Provide value, demonstrate humanity, foster these connections, share passions, right, with the new people that you'll be meeting. This is how you'll be able to unlock the full potential in your database. Set yourself apart from everybody else out there. Now, first can help you connect with hundreds of potential clients in your network, right? But there's a lot more potential than really meets the eye. Consider the potential that could come from one client over the lifetime of your relationship with them. Let's say, you have a client that's expecting to sell and will sell, while you're using First. Then she talks to one of her friends during a golf tournament and, who is also thinking of selling. And then they mention you as an expert in the area. From word of mouth, that one client that you've originally gained can easily turn into 4 more clients over time. This may not happen right away, but again, over time, you're more likely to gain more authentic referrals if you're connected with people or, contacts by taking advantage of your database, breaking the ice and again, following up with these people. You'll be closing deals really that you would have never been able to close, or that would have never happened if you never took this first step. Now, something else you can do to make sure that you're following up with, your contacts in multiple ways, right, is to add your 3-star contacts to Boosh. Now, that way you'll be able to create, recipient lists for campaigns. You can create mailing labels and more to really come full circle with the lead nurturing through, the different Remax technologies. And it's very simple to do, right? To get your rated leads from First into Boosh, you simply export the contacts list, right? You're going to sort the file by seller stars. That way you can import your 3, 2, and 1 stars. You can export the CSV file after that and then import it into Boosh. And then, you can create custom fields, tags, and then start sending events, invites, et cetera, et cetera. Now, remember, take advantage of all aspects when mastering your follow-up, right? Commit to conversation. Don't be afraid to dive in and just break the ice. At the end of the day, the worst thing that'll happen is nothing, right? You have nothing to lose. Have a better conversation by asking, better questions and keep records, right? Keeping them engaged. Make the app work for you, right? It's a very powerful database, with limitless potential. It's like your personal, robot, again, that's going to be telling you who you should be reaching out to so that you can build a stronger database. Build a community, show personality, direct your efforts towards the people who hold the highest potential. And, you don't need to be using First every single hour of every single day. Honestly, 10 to 15 minutes a day is really all you need. Imagine you can even gain more business while just waiting on, in line with, for your daily cup of coffee. So, hopefully by now you've seen the value of First and, what First has to offer. For those of you that are interested in exploring the app and again, nurturing your database, Remax currently offers a 60-day free trial. It's very simple. If you want to download, the First app, you can just go to First.io and download it from there. It's, you can download it from Mac Center. You can search for First.io on your mobile device, on your Google Play Store, on the App Store. You can also text Remax to this number right here to sign up directly from your device. And again, your first 60 days are completely free because we honestly know the value that you'll get out of this there's no limit to really the potential with this app. And after that, it's only $465 a year, once you subscribe. And now there's content here for agents that have already downloaded the app. That way you can, again, get yourself familiar a little bit more with the platform. You can go to the Mac Center to learn more about First and how you can use it on day-to-day life. And if you haven't downloaded the app yet, to get started, you might want to consider, viewing one of these tracks here to help you set up and, get started using First. All right. And now we bring it back to Kayla.
Back. I didn't go anywhere, so that's okay. Yes, so we've got some tasks for you all to complete before we get to, there's a couple questions that we will address in just a moment, but some tasks to complete after this training is to just start brainstorming the type of content that you want to put on your website or even within your campaigns. And this can be the same content utilized in both areas, right? But start brainstorming the type of content, start brainstorming the common questions that you receive, and then formulate your answers into valuable content that you can put on your website or in drip campaigns. Then also download your branded app and begin sharing it out to your consumers. I've linked a video there, but I've also sent it to several of you in the chat. This is just the shortened link of it. But that video is our onboarding a new consumer to the branded app. And so that will also help you get onboarded to the app, which then ultimately allows you to share. So if you have your own branded app on your phone, so you brand the app to yourself, you can share directly from the app. And I think that's the easiest way to share it out because you'll just send it off in a text to whomever. But that's the easiest way in my opinion. But watch that video and it will outline it way more than I just did. Start editing your campaigns that are available to you. You can manage that content and again, make it more specific to your area, like I have said a bazillion times today already. And then start working on recipient lists for new leads. So we have a video there that walks through that. I did reach out because there were a couple of people who said that they've been having issues, and then you saw the issues I was running into with recipient lists. So I reached out to the product team and there is a known bug with the recipient list. They're actively working on fixing that right now. So hopefully they can get that resolved soon. Once it is fixed though, that's when I would go back and watch that video. And then last but not least, if you haven't done so already, start the 60-day trial with First. There's nothing you lose with starting that trial. You can cancel at any time, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, start using First and see all the benefits that you can gain from that. Of course, as always, contact product support. There have been a couple of you that said you've emailed support and you didn't get the answers that you wanted, but I would highly, highly, highly recommend calling support, especially if you are having an issue on your screen. That way you can request a Zoom call with them or some sort of video call so that they can actually see what's happening. Email doesn't always allow you to explain fully what's happening. And so a phone call will do much more justice to let them know and to try to figure out if there is truly a bug or if you're clicking in the wrong place or whatever the case may be. Highly recommend having a phone call with support. Then last but not least, we've got 2 questions that I want to address, but keep them coming in because we have 14 minutes left together. So first question is to you, Jose. We were talking about, so one question came in, do you get to see what the recipients get from First? And so I clarified that they don't get anything from First besides communication with you. You use First as a communication tool, right? So someone had a follow-up question to what I said. And Julia asked, is this just a messaging platform for our friends and contacts, or is there calendar, campaigns, etc.? So I was hoping you could explain again the difference between First and a CRM, which is going to comprise the
Definitely. So yeah, so when you're thinking about First, you have to think of this as I like to see this as a personal assistant, right? This is a little robot that's working, night and day for you to help you find the people within your network, right? People that you've connected with in the past that you should be, focusing your efforts with. We do have pre-built templates there. So if, you have trouble building, text to break the ice, we do have pre-built templates that you can tweak if you want to use those. But this is nothing like a CRM. So it's here to complement your CRM. You can create reminders to follow up, but for the most part, if you wanted to have a campaign, create campaigns, all you would do is you would export the contacts that have already been rated on from First into your Boosh CRM or whatever CRM it is you're using.
Perfect. And I love that you called it a little robot. I really like imagining First as a little robot, like in your pocket. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So then the next question, what should I do if I don't want to add all of my contacts? I have some, but they are real estate agents too. So can we talk about that again, getting our contacts in there and how First can identify some agents?
That is a great question. And thank you for asking that, actually. So the beautiful thing about First is that it'll work, again, restlessly for you. So you don't have to worry about, entering contacts that you don't want to reach out to. You can, one, hide contacts that you don't want to add, or two, first will automatically start detecting these agents that you have in your contact list. So it doesn't add them to, people you should be following up with. It'll also, take care of duplicates for you. So it'll be nice and neat for you once you've added them to first. And if for whatever reason, something slips through the cracks through those filters, you could always, remove contacts from first.
For sure. And I think it would be easier to upload them all and then start removing those that you don't want to contact from first. I think it would be a lot to go through that process versus just uploading some people and not all of them. That'd be a lot more tedious in my opinion.
Absolutely, because first is already removing these real estate agents and duplicates for you. So you don't have to do it. It's doing that for you.
For sure. Another question we got, as I add more contacts into my Boosh CRM, should I create a CSV file of just them to have uploaded into first, or can I send my whole database and duplicates will be ignored? So
yes. So yeah, you can do either one. If you want to make it easier on yourself, you can just upload every single one of them. And again, duplicates will be taken care of by first.
Yes. And you could also do it the opposite way too. You could get your contacts into first and start cleaning them up, which is what we usually recommend, is cleaning them up inside of first, seeing who's responsive, seeing who's the 3-star contacts, exporting them from first, and then importing those into Boosh. They'll automatically be tagged as 3-star contacts if they are a 3-star contact. And it's again, just a little bit better of a process there.
Absolutely. All righty.
Adding a link to that Janet asked for, but I think you all can see these anyways. She wanted that video for getting the branded app into the hands of the consumers. So sending that there. And then outside of that, oh, here's another one. Okay. This one is for me. Back to campaigns. When an email is sent through a drip campaign, does the system log it onto the various contacts communication history? Let me read that one more time. Sorry. When an email is sent through drip campaign, does the system log it into the various contacts communication histories? Yeah, Tina, I believe that when you send a drip campaign to a specific person, you'll be able to track that in your communication history and in the details of their contact record. You should most definitely be able to track that. Cool. Are there plans to connect Boosh to first so we can see the first data in our client's dashboard?
I think we both know the answer to that, right?
Yeah. So we do have plans. It's not going to be anytime soon because this is going to be a big feat to get Boosh and First to be combined. But that is our ultimate goal, is to have these two platforms be linked together in some sort of way to make it more efficient for you guys, for sure.
Yep. When there's a question that asks, if I work with a partner, is there a way to identify his clients from mine in the first system? No, there is not. We don't recommend that you share the first account because you'll be sharing contacts. It's as simple as that. We believe in, respecting people's privacy, and we take that very seriously, which is why we don't have, an account where multiple users can be using the same account, right? Your contact information or the information that you enter into first is only available to you. If you give somebody else that login information and they import their contacts as well, then everything would just be mixed.
For sure. Good question, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions from you guys? What's that?
Oh, no, I asked any other questions. We have more minutes.
A few more minutes. What about using First for Teams? That came through the chat.
Using First for Teams? Yes, you would have to talk to me, and then I'll give you that answer on an individual basis.
If you want, I don't know if you want to reach out to Michelle separately or post your email for people to contact you. They have those specific types of questions about First.
Let's see. Let me look for the message and then I'll,
That one's in the chat, should be at the bottom.
what's that?
That one should be in the chat, that specific question about Teams.
Got it. Oh, yes, yes.
Awesome. Well, if there are no more questions, we will give you guys back 6 minutes of your day. We'll show the last slide here, which would be the link to, oh, wrong presentation again. So I'll send the link for the slides in the chat here. It's going to be a link. So again, you can click on it or you can highlight it and you should be able to copy. No, you won't be able to copy and paste, but it's a link. So click on it. And then that should open up for you. But without further ado, I don't think there's any other slides after this, is there? I think it's just a schedule for tomorrow. Again, we're going to start at 9 a.m. And then again, we're going to level up your business with intentional branding using Megaphone and your website, and then using that world-class user experience, which, by the way, I have not even mentioned. That last class is where we dive deep into the Branded app, SEO to get your website seen by more people, hopefully, and a couple other pieces in that realm. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for your attention and all of your amazing questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.